A focus tonight on the homeless in the metro. The city taking big strides to reduce and possibly eliminate homelessness, dedicating more money to the issue than ever before.
Fox 25 investigative reporter Erica Stanish has been working for weeks to find out what all it's going to take to tackle this monumental task. And Erica, I know this isn't an easy one to solve.
Absolutely not. And from the possibility of the homeless population growing in the coming years to what it's like to survive on the streets, we've covered a lot of ground on the homeless issues over the last few weeks. And now the city is focusing their efforts on 4 key components to help solve the crisis.
You got to be like that lion in the jungle when you're out there looking for that gazelle. That's just like you go out there looking for that job, and you got to be hungry.
Jerry Bailey is navigating the homeless system.
When society got programs like that that's trying to help people, then people got to grab a hold to them, put funding in them, and go there and visit them.
And he's not the only one trying to get back on his feet.
I'm working on fixing this.
They migrating here to try to get a better life, to establish something in life for their kids and stuff.
Along with many others, Bailey is taking advantage of all the city has to offer to make a better life for himself and his family.
They just want their daddy to do good. They just want their daddy to stay out of jail, get himself together, and be productive for the kids.
But not everyone is like him.
Some of them have drug problems. Some of them have mental health problems, which it's hard to deal with out here. And I understand it, but that makes it kind of harder on everybody.
Drugs, mental health, it's those issues the city says it's working to fix. But first, they have to identify the homeless population's greatest needs.
Do any of the following apply to you? Serious mental illness?
No, ma'am.
Alcohol, drug abuse?
No.
The city spends 1 day a year surveying the homeless to identify the biggest issues within its population.
Is this your first time being homeless?
So they can determine what resources and what steps need to be taken going forward, whittling down the focus on what help to provide.
We spend literally months on the front end identifying where camps are, where people sleep under bridges or on park benches or in their cars, so that on this day we can go out to all those places and do the surveys.
Spanning 630 miles across the city, the survey says in 2019 there were 1,273 men, women, and children identified as homeless. It shows 31% have a severe mental illness, 34% struggle with substance abuse, and 9% experience domestic violence.
Hopefully the mental health resources and drug addiction and domestic violence resources will be enough, but I mean, you'd have to see what the problem looks like once it starts getting there and start actually addressing it as it grows so you can keep it from growing any larger.
Shelters set up across the city are the first step, like the Homeless Alliance, City Rescue Mission, and the Jesus House, and many more. All places those in need can go for daily help.
A lot of people today.
Then there's MAPS 4, with $50 million set aside to bring in new services for the homeless, starting with finding them a home.
That affordable housing piece will help prevent those people from becoming homeless in the first place. And that other kind of collection of services that are part of MAPS 4, the mental health, domestic violence, things like that, those together will also help kind of reduce the numbers.
The city hopes affordable housing units will help lower the numbers for those battling homelessness or falling back to the streets after a bump in the road.
They take a gauge of someone's income, whether it be just what they earn and also through other programs, and then they pay a portion of the rent based on that income, and then the rest of it can be assisted with this program.
It's services in the city helping people like Bailey, who's striving for the top.
I'm staying here at the rescue mission to get myself together so I can move on in life and then do something productive.
He just got a job.
They're letting me stay here so I can get this job, accumulate me a place to stay, and then go back out and do what I'm supposed to do in today's society.
And now he's working to help others find their way too.
You got to do your research. You got to get out and find and talk to these people. And when you talk to them, you got to be truthful. You got to tell them where you've been and what you're trying to do and what you're trying to build for your life. You got to have a plan of affirmative action.
A lot of promise for Oklahoma City to combat its homeless issue. To learn more about it or to take a look at our stories that aired on this topic earlier this week, you can head to our website, okcfox.com.